How many title defenses does Rose Namajunas have to make before we start calling for her to move up in weight and take on flyweight champion Valentina Shevchenko? Will it be after her next fight should she win? It's entirely possible, as it seems to be the trend these days. Coming off of a legend-making performance this past weekend, there's a lot clamoring for Max Holloway to move up in weight and to challenge the lightweight champion. We have Daniel Cormier sitting as the heavyweight and light heavyweight champion, Amanda Nunes moving up in weight to take on Cyborg for the women's featherweight championship, TJ Dillashaw going down in weight to take on Henry Cejudo for the flyweight title, and no doubt more double champ aspirations to come. It's not that I don't like the idea of a dominant champion stepping up or stepping down a weight class to contend for a second world championship. It's the fighters, fans, and media's desire to have every other champion and interim champion move up a weight class to hold 2 world titles at once that gets to me a little bit. There's no need to go over the fact that we are in the entertainment era of this sport, and the goal is to put off the biggest money-making fights as humanly possible. Hierarchy of champions and contenders be damned. I know it, we all know it, so I understand the perceived need of having to put off the big money fights for business purposes. And the only thing bigger than a fight for one 12-pound gold strap is a fight for 2 of them. But when every champion is jumping up a weight class or calling to jump up a weight class to contend for a second championship, it detracts from the specialness of a fight where a champion earns that opportunity and ultimately achieves that goal. If a fighter is having serious issues making their current weight class and they're forced to move up for health reasons, that's a different story. It goes without saying that it makes perfect sense to set your sights on a different championship. But, provided Holloway can make featherweight in a healthy manner, which, despite complications in the past, he absolutely can, I would way rather see him focus his efforts on the 145-pound division. People are talking as if featherweight is a complete boneyard, when Holloway has yet to take on Frankie Edgar and Zabit. Based on Holloway's average number of fights since 2016, if he were to take on those 2, it would tie up his entire 2019. Not to mention that, although the current landscape may not suggest this, but over the course of the next year, we are going to see other worthy contenders emerge. Make no mistake about it, Holloway's work at featherweight is far from done. Let him stay put. The more we have champions jump weight classes, the less opportunities there are for the up-and-comers to break through and make history. I don't need 2 popular names to make a title fight interesting. I just need a serious threat to the crown. And there are more of those guys out there than many will give credit for. Some of the greatest moments in this sport have come from the unexpected. Everybody's talking about how Holloway versus Ortega is the best featherweight title in UFC history, and it was truly incredible. I'm not making the argument that it wasn't. But back in the days when title contenders' personalities and marketability meant far less than what it does today, a featherweight named Mark Hominick emerged as a contender after defeating George Roop in a title eliminator fight. Outside of the hardcore fan base, Hominick was relatively unknown, and widely considered to be a sacrificial lamb for Jose Aldo to add another skull to his collection. And it looked that way for most of the fight, until the championship rounds hit, and the unlikely contender ended up overtaking the featherweight kingpin while sporting one of the biggest hematomas ever seen in the octagon, and closing out the fight in mount in one of the craziest endings to a fight in the UFC's history, and in the exact same city Holloway versus Ortega took place, of all places. The point is, we are way overdoing it when it comes to this double champ thing. The trend that Conor McGregor has created is growing tiresome for me, and I think that there's value in taking pride in your own division and making a point to defend the championship as many times as you possibly can. I also believe that when this is the case, it establishes the respective division more and, in turn, makes the quality of it just far better. I'm game for having the prospect of having a dominant champion move up a weight class to earn another title, but it should be far more rare than what it is right now.